What's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here. You're gonna have to excuse the noise in the background because I have a air filter going on in the background because I've got smokers as neighbors and I got to filter the air out and they're smoking kind of bad right now. So apologize for that in advance. I think you're gonna want to stick around to this to listen to this one though, because this is a pretty good one. Got a lot of value and information here, but let me jump right into it. So I want to talk about people who misuse the law, people who, abuse the law, right? The law is meant to protect people, but there's people who use the law as a weapon to hurt other people, right? They sucker you and lure you in to a position where you might be borderline breaking the law or breaking the law without knowing it. Such as quote unquote harassing people or, something along those lines. And this is really aimed towards liberals, and it's aimed towards, the so-called quote unquote tolerant left, which they're anything but tolerant. Now, I've been dealing with these people for about 10 years, mostly online, and really it's been a product of me not having as much to do as I should. I should be doing a lot more things. I should be living my life a lot more fully and taking up my time with activities and hobbies and things like that. But I've been really bored the last 10 years, and I admit that. And a lot of what I've done on Facebook and social media and things like that is a waste of time, sort of. But also I do believe that, these people are kind of like, almost like scum, right? Not human, well, human scum, yes, but scum in the actual definition of the word, scum is an accumulation of bacteria. It's an accumulation of negative elements, like negative cultures and things like that. And that's what I think, that's what I think liberals are. This is what I think these radical feminists, that's what I think they are. I don't think they have enough to do. I don't think they have enough hobbies to do. And they really just sit around and figure out how they're going to be oppressed. They really just sit around and, mope and stew in their own self-wallowing and whining and quote-unquote oppression narrative. And then they look for ways to hurt people. They look for ways to, further their exclusive cult. And there's really no other way to describe it. It's a cult. And I hope that MGTOW and Red Pill men don't ever get that bad. But at the same time, it's like when you conglomerate together and you complain about something and you act like you're oppressed, then it's hard. Now men genuinely have qualms. They genuinely have issues, which is why the red pill is so popular, which is why MGTOW, there was popularity to MGTOW, okay? Because men are actually really being oppressed in certain ways, and we don't have a voice, and we get ridiculed for being an MRA or being a men's rights activist or talking about these kind of things. We get ridiculed, right? But that's really similar to what they're doing, except that what we do when we talk about men's rights and we talk about the red pill and things like that, we're actually talking about real things. We're talking about things that really exist. We're talking about things that really happen to us. For the most part, women are not. For the most part, these radical feminists are not. The stuff that they talk about is overblown. It's lies. I mean, if you ever go to a feminist page and you read what they say, it's really sad. It's not like these are facts. These things are really happening. Like 9 times out of 10, they're just putting out memes that somebody said. These girls, they put out these memes on Twitter or whatever the fuck, and they are not even memes. They write these long quotes and paragraphs about the time I almost got raped, the time I was at the store and a guy oogled me with his eyes, I advise red pill guys to go to these feminist pages and read what they write, because it's like these people are the enemy. These people are setting up false ideas of men, false ideas of what really goes on in society, and they're putting that stuff out there. they're putting that stuff out there into the atmosphere and saying, oh, I'm so oppressed, look at what happened to me, and 9 times out of 10 it's not even true. It's a lie. It's like, no, you didn't go to the store and some guy touched your ass and ran away. Like, you hear that kind of wacky stories, and you can tell by the way they're saying it, it's really true. You can tell by the way they're saying it, it's really not true. It's not really true. It's a lie. You can just tell. And it's just like, what? Like this is what all these people do. And it's like, red pill guys, okay, like maybe even we're too much. Maybe even we talk about it too much or focus on it too much. I have to catch myself, and I'm like, man, I'm focusing too much on the negative. Like, I need to go live my life. And like, MGTOW at its best, that's what MGTOW is at its best, is like, hey, I'm walking away. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to complain. I'm just walking away. I support MGTOW. Every once in a while, I'll come on social media and I'll say, go MGTOW, and that's my only comment, and then I go live my life, and that's it. I'm done. But for people to just sit around and stew and talk too much about it, and I realize I myself have done that. I've been guilty of doing that in the last 10 years. And a lot of what I was doing was thinking, oh, I'm going to change society. I'm going to change the way these feminists think, because I'm going to be a voice for men, because men don't have a voice, probably because they're busy working or they're busy with their activities. Like, live your life. And that's kind of what I'm starting to realize, is like, I need to stop interacting with these people online. But I will say this, it's getting worse, and these people are gaining traction. And I would say, go watch some of these people like Owen Schroeder on InfoWars, and there's this blonde girl, apparently she's a libertarian. I think her name's Katie something, and there's a few other channels, and they go out and they interview liberals, these young liberals and these young feminists and these young leftists, and it's not hard to find those videos online, but they go out and they interview these people, and like, you know, be wary, because these people are, you know, we should be concerned about that. You know, we should be concerned about these people, these lefty people, and these liberals, and these wacky radical feminists out here, because they're trying to get us. You know what I mean? And they're trying to use the law if they can. They're trying to change legislation, and I disagree. I mean, I oppose a lot of what these people are talking about. I'm for social safety nets. I support welfare when it's needed. I support welfare when it helps sick, poor people, because it's needed in our society. But a lot of this other stuff is just made up nonsense that these people are talking about. And I don't want to get too political, but, you know, I'm just saying that you know, we need to be aware on the one hand, but we shouldn't get sucked into that type of life, right? And so for me, it's like it's easy to get sucked into. It's hard not to get sucked into arguing with the left and this whole, you know, conservatives versus liberals and Republicans versus Democrats, and, you know, feminists versus MGTOW. It's hard not to get sucked into that, because I think our society is set up, and our political system is set up in such a way that it wants us to be divided. It wants us to be divisive. But these people will use the law against us, man. You know, they'll sucker us into a corner, and they'll try to catch us and try to get us to, you know, the very things that they're doing to us. They harass, they you know, they do everything. They physically assault people, you know, and if we do anything to that back, then, you know, if we harass them or we step over a line and give them back what they're giving to us, then they'll run and tell the authorities, and the, you know, and this is the kind of people they are. They're just gutless. They're cowards. They're manipulative, and this is what I see. Is I see these people aren't honest. I see these people aren't living life in a quality way, and they're just using evil means to hurt other people, because they themselves on the inside are just, you know, messed up. They're evil. I think I don't see anything good in these people. You know, and I think that it's getting worse and worse. And these people are out there, man. I mean, they are out there in our society, particularly someone like me. I live in Seattle. I live in a liberal area, and I hate it. And I've always hated it. And I want to get the hell out of here, because there's so much evil. Because when you take away morals and you take away God out of the equation, you know, then what do you have? You just got an evil situation. You got people trying to manipulate and doing evil things, and they'll use the law against you. They will catch you, and they'll sucker you in, and they'll bait you into stuff like that.